We kind of got her mocked up. This is the bottom plate. Fuel cell sits in there, and then it has like a little cage that bolts it all down.
So there was just a bar that went straight across and ran along these guys. So it's probably up 8 inches.
Yeah, it's up a lot. So it's gonna stick up through the top a couple inches.
This is gonna be kind of a top view. You wanna pretend that this is that lower cage. Looking from above, we're gonna run 2 plates, kind of like a sandwich plate. Those are gonna be bolted with the fuel cell being able to be brought up from the bottom and bolted in here. And there's gonna be 2 solid mounts here to those roll bars.
Upon a little further inspection, we have a final plan. Basically a flat bar across the top of here that'll connect those 3 Johnsons. And we're gonna put like a little triangle gusset on each end. We're just trying to get this so it's a really like stiff rectangle.
Matt made these beautiful plates up for me, nice and straight. Because you're gonna weld these boys on like that, right? Sideways. And we're gonna run some bolts here. And then this plate is gonna be welded with tubes somewhere in this region like that. So we just realized we played it the way we were thinking, then dropping it through would not work, which was these guys here. It's like a upper cage. We're gonna take those off, weld everything in like we had planned, and then we're gonna figure out another spot for these, most likely on the hard mounted plate on the chassis, so it'll just be out a little bit and still should work. Right, so we got these all drilled, cleaned up, looking nice.
JMO's getting these 2 supports made, so that ties in this outer plate. And these little bangers. Because we're kind of reusing this tray in a different way, we're a little worried about the strength of here. We made these guys.
So we have this side tacked up with our bars here and here. So we're gonna get the other side set up. Then we can pull this plate out. We'll get those done. And this tank's ready to go in, and then we can mount the upper strap tabs.
It's all done. Mounted the tray. We'll take 5 of those bolts on each side. Bam! Oh, and it's holding!
So still grinding away on getting this fuel cell here secured. Made these tabs here, and these are basically to help secure this upper cage. I might give it a little upward tilt to get a little more out of that thread, but then we'll be welding that onto this piece and then throwing a couple gussets in here to strengthen it up, and that'll allow us to kind of pull this upper cage down and hold the fuel cell solid. I also got this little notch here. We'll go ahead and tack that in there. We'll get her tacked in. Okay, so I made this fun little guy here. I don't know if you can see it. Don't worry about that little weird notch. But this is kind of gonna go on this side. It's gonna notch over that tube, tie in that side. Breathe it in, it's good for you.
You almost want to redo those ones. Those look a lot better than what was on there. I don't want to like flex or anything, but
I'm really becoming kind of a professional welder, a little bit somewhat novice. So now we're going to start building the mounts for the front side. I got this guy here. Basically, that's gonna slide through there. Pieces to box it in. So it'll get boxed in here, and then probably on this front side. And I may build a gusset for the back side as well. Build it in here. I'm gonna run a final bead here, and then probably build from here and get kind of down onto the middle of the bar down there, so it'll box it in and give it some strength. So your man's is over here. 1,000. 1,001. What are you doing? 1,002. Whoa, 1,003.
Oh, hey there. After we finished the new door bars and the rally bar, we had to clearance the doors a little bit more. I did like just a rough cut so they would clear. And then we smoothed them out. So it was basically this that had to be cut out. We smoothed them out, painted them, and then we had to move the door handle back as well. It used to be up here, but these cables weren't long enough. So we moved those back, modified the door handle a little bit so it'd sit flat. We're just gonna put, I don't know, like a little cable holder right there. Those will sit kind of nice. We're at the last point, or last modification rather, on the doors. We've talked about like rubber edging in the past on some of the build videos. It's really nice. Still want to clean the edges up really well. So on here, we'll actually go to like 120 grit on the grinder and get it to where you can run your hand across it on both sides. I actually like to, it's a little bit dangerous. You gotta wear gloves and be really careful when you're doing it. It does work really well. This little guy kind of spins around. These are really meant for after you drill a hole and run on the top side of it and on the bottom side of it. It doesn't countersink it, but it like just rolls over the edge and gets rid of all those shards. I like taking this on cut edges as well. And this is why it's dangerous, because it can slip on you. And especially when this is sharp, I've done it before, but basically run this across the top side and run it across the bottom side all the way around like a couple times, and you'll end up with a really nice smooth edge. We could run it just like that, but the rubber edging just kind of finishes it off really well. So we usually put a little silicone on it and you just run it around all the edges that you want to kind of cover up. Because this one, like here, you'd probably never hit, but like up here, you know, maybe you go and reach for the door handle or your arm bumps it when you're off-roading. So it just finishes it off really nicely. I wanted to show you guys, again, little tiny little details. But I don't know, it's just really starting to look like a truck again with some of the OEM stuff back on it, I guess. So I got these seals back on the rear doors, just like how it looks. I got the rubber edging fully on the doors now. I just put pieces of tape everywhere to kind of hold it in place till it fully dries. Really gives it a nice look, and then now you can run your hand across it, no problem. So both the front doors are pretty much done. After these are dry, I can bolt this back up, and then I'm gonna put a little Odell clamp to attach these somewhere so they're not just loose. And the front doors are like finished up, which is awesome. Figured since I was working on doors, might as well move to the rear doors as well. On these, started doing the edging basically all the way around there. And then the other thing that's interesting is a lock up here and on the bottom, and then there's two cables. So for now, this is temporary. I just zip tie these two together because I wanted to see if it would work like I wanted it to. Now it does. I also riveted in an Odell clamp on this top one, so now pull it like that, pulls both at the same time. That's cool for a temporary. The Odell clamp's permanent, but the zip tie's kind of janky. Put like a little grip around them or something, so it's kind of a handle. I haven't figured that out yet, but for now they're just zip tied. It's a lot easier now to open and close the rear doors before you're having to go in with both your hands and pull on both. So that's what I'm kind of working on right now. A little thing, but I wanted to show you guys anyways. Scuff pads that go here, they're all peeling and torn up and just gross. I took those off. Pretty good cleaning. There's still some crap on them, so I need to do an even deeper cleaning on them. And then I got brand new factory scuff pads for both sides, front and rear. So, and they're on. You can barely even see them. One of the last things to finish off the interior is these scuff plates, whatever you want to call them. Looking up second gen Tacoma ones, I could only find like brand new sets for like 300 bucks, or even more than that. I think it was ridiculous. So I got third gen ones. And the fact of the matter is, it doesn't really matter because we're missing a lot of the junk that goes underneath. I can basically shave them down and sit them real flush, kind of like how that's sitting there rather than back there. And then we got the new ones. I don't know, they look a little cooler. I'm gonna shave off all these little attachments, and then we're gonna run probably nutserts and then just like nice bolts and washers, have like 5 through the top, and they'll match. We have some of those on the dash, we'll have them on the outside of the truck, engine bay. So I'll just tie all that together and I think it'll look really nice. And these will sit really flat and flush. So that's kind of one of the next things on the interior, or really one of the last like major things, and then all our stuff's covered up in there. All the like little mounting points are shaved off these now. So now they should sit really flat. So I'm gonna kind of figure out how they sit in there and then drill some holes. Well, I gotta say, honestly, so far for me, this has been the most frustrating little project, or part of the entire project. So like, I got all these nutserts in. I don't know, like this one, of course, lined up with that other hole, so that was. This one's sitting at like an angle. There's no other way to do it. I tried like hammering it and trying to get rid of material, but it's as flat as I could get it. And then like this bar was in the way. I don't know. And I was like bent over under the door. I don't know, that whole project was super frustrating. I gotta do the other side now.
Matt felt it was important to show you guys what he's been working on. Gee, what's going on?
So you guys, like it's one of those minor details, but it's really taken me a long time. A tremendous amount of work.
Like he got so frustrated today, he took his shirt off, he ripped it in half.
It'll be nice. I mean, it's coming out really well. I don't know, every single step of the way, it was a pain in the butt.
Look at those. Those are nice, dude. What are they called? Scuff plates?
What's up?
Scuff plates?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're almost done, dude.
Yeah, so I had to make spacers. I didn't show you. It's not that exciting. It just has been a frustrating job, but I had to put like metal spacers on each one to get to sit flat. It's kind of, I think it'll be cool once it has fancy bolts in it and the rest of it has fancy bolts. The scuff plates are finally done and installed. I'm really happy with how they came out, but my God, that was quite the project. I think they look really good. They sit flush on that rail. I mean, you can kind of see under there when you go like that, but obviously it looks really good like that. We'll put fancy bolts, but yeah, I don't know. That was a pain in the butt. I think it looks really good. Really happy with it. It'll just kind of finishes off that door seal area. I'm happy with it. I'm happy I did it, but it was not a fun project. Now go ahead and check out these other 2 videos and stick around. See you soon.